The Planet's Prodigious Poo Problem by David Cox from The Guardian. In Cox's article, he brings to attention the problem our planet is facing because of the overabundance of animal waste that is being generated. As our world's demand for protein continues, more animal waste will be generated. This is happening very quickly in China, where Cox explains that the production of animal protein increased nearly five-fold as part of its dramatic economic growth between 1980 and 2010. This animal waste is coming from livestock farms raising animals like cows, chickens, pigs, and sheep throughout the world. Whether the farm is small or large, every output of waste that an animal makes has a certain methane footprint that in large concentrated doses can have a large environmental and human health impact. The amount of waste that is coming from animals is increasing every year. Recent research has estimated that by 2030, the planet will be generating at least 5 billion tons of poo each year, with the vast majority being deposited by livestock. We are facing a huge problem with animal waste. Cox explains that we are able to see clearly the effects that the methane from animal waste has on climate change. Did you know that methane is the second strongest greenhouse gas and is even at times considered stronger than CO2 because of its ability to trap heat in our atmosphere? Another result of animal waste is contamination of water sources such as rivers, lakes, and even our oceans. If people end up drinking or bathing in this water, then they can become seriously ill and even die. Also, people who live near large livestock farms are exposed to dangerous gases that can lead to health problems as well. Since one of the main ways that human health is affected by animal waste is water contamination, Cox made a point to let us know the impacts of such contamination. If the water in the rivers that people bathe or drink from are contaminated by animal waste, the people are at serious risk for life-threatening diseases. Also, the fish in these rivers could suffer from illness and even disappear completely from the water. Finally, if not handled correctly, the water from these rivers and lakes could lead into the urban water supplies and contaminate the drinking water of even more people. The problem is that disposal of this waste is difficult and many large farms are not totally up to the challenge or simply do not have the resources to dispose of the waste correctly. Think of small farmers in India and China who either are not aware of the impact of their waste or are not able to afford to properly handle their waste. So, are there any solutions? Well, Cox explains that there aren't really many, but that this is a problem that is becoming more and more obvious to the world. So, solutions are coming into fruition, but some of them are not very realistic yet. One of the most popular solutions is to convert this waste into energy. Another solution is to just use the animal waste as fertilizer, but there are limits to how much animal waste can be in fertilizer, and often these companies are making more than that amount. So, in order to convert the waste into energy, it has to use anaerobic digesters, and this is expensive and sometimes ineffective, and often these companies would rather just pay the fines charged to them for polluting the environment than use this new technology that costs them more money. Many efforts are being made by different organizations to find sustainable solutions to our planet's poo problem. Cox believes that government intervention will ultimately be needed in order to make sufficient strides. At least Cox is doing the issue justice by bringing it to the attention of the public and explaining the real risks of continuing such practices.